Hello everyone and welcome to FiST Chat, the vodcast that features discussions on the topics of film, science and technology. My name is Ben Warner and I'm joined once again by my good friend and colleague Steve Kern. How are we today, Steve?
I'm good, thanks, Ben. Hello, FiST Chat fans. It's lovely to be back.
And after an unexpected hiatus last week, so we don't normally do that, but we're back as we usually are, and with one more FiST Chat, and we'll have probably one more left for the year, our usual predictions episode that hopefully we'll be together in Adelaide to do in the next week or so, so we're looking forward to that too. So hard to believe we're coming up to the end of the third year already, Steve.
It is incredible, and it's at this time of year, it's always nice to reflect, and we thank all those FiST Chat fans for the journey.
Absolutely. Now, before we get into our topics today, don't forget our website, FiSTchat.com. You can get all of our links there. You can subscribe to our audio via iTunes, SoundCloud, and our RSS feed. Just on SoundCloud, we seem to be having a bit of an issue with SoundCloud at the moment. Google Plus isn't talking to it for some reason, and we can't upload our most recent audio. It's still there. Still got some episodes on there, but stay tuned. Hopefully we'll get that back online at some point. But that's why we have multiple channels going, because we've hit something like this before when one of them doesn't work properly, and there's always another one you can refer to, which also includes YouTube, Vimeo, and Digicosm TV for our videos. You've got Twitter, Google Plus, and Facebook for our social media feeds. You can interact with us there. There's our ebook on Amazon, the FiST Report, at fistreport.com. Only 99 cents. Great read, we think, and helps to support this show. And we've got our supplementary content, weekly blogs, photography on Instagram and Flickr. And if you think anyone might be interested in our weekly discussions on film, science and technology, feel free to send them to our website. We'd much appreciate that. Now, we've got quite a few topics, actually. It's a little bit more of a news bitey type story to FiST Chat today, but we'll go through them because quite a lot of interesting things. Now, I love this first one, throwing away a fortune. Man searches landfill for $7.9 million Bitcoin fortune, from the Sydney Morning Herald, and obviously a lot of outlets picked this one up as well. A British IT worker launched a frantic search at a landfill site after realizing he accidentally threw away a computer drive holding $7.9 million in the online currency Bitcoin. James Howes, 28, obtained 7,500 bitcoins in 2009 when the currency was virtually worthless. Its value has since soared, with a single bitcoin hitting $1,000 for the first time last week. And he's gone off to the tip to try and see if he can find out where that hard drive's disappeared to. It's like trying to find that lost lotto ticket.
Yeah, you don't want to laugh at someone's misfortune, but why would you mine all that Bitcoin and then, misplace it? And the other thing is, I don't know what Bitcoin was like in the early days, but the first thing that you're meant to do with Bitcoin is get yourself a Bitcoin wallet and store it securely. If you break the rules,
This is what you're going to get, isn't it?
That's it. I'd love to know, though, if we've got any FiST Chat fans out there that actually, are part of the Bitcoin community or actually mine Bitcoin. Would anyone be that careless?
Yeah.
Probably not at the moment.
But I guess, it probably did seem like maybe it did feel like a silly thing at the time. It's like this sort of virtual thing.
Yeah.
But isn't that like anything? A lot of the what about like Apple stock, for example, back in 1997?
That's right.
Who knows how these things turn out? It's interesting in the sense that it's like a stateless virtual currency that is kind of fascinating, really, but.
Interesting how it works. Very interesting how it works.
Yeah. Did you want to take us through it, or?
I don't know that we'd have time, but it's a cryptographic currency, digital currency, and basically to join the community, in most cases, you help create the currency through transactions, and if you mine, basically what you're doing is trying to find the code or the other factor in unlocking another Bitcoin. So I guess all the Bitcoin numbers are known whether they exist or not.
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of the community randomly generating, someone lucky enough to generate that number, and a Bitcoin comes into existence. Is the simplest way of explaining it. But if any FiST Chat fans who know more about it, tell us more, because it's a fascinating topic.
It seems like a lot of speculation might be involved in this as well. It's not something that's quite tangible, and who knows if it's going to be able to sustain the kind of heights it's gotten to.
Well, I guess at the moment people are buying Bitcoin for various reasons. I mean, Bitcoin trading is completely anonymous, so if you want to trade in things that you probably shouldn't, like guns or drugs, it's a good way of converting, I guess, real money into Bitcoin currency and then back to real money. And you can also use it, I guess, if you were, say, in a country where perhaps there were going to be some issues over the government taxes. It's a good way to avoid paying tax, because you can hide your money in Bitcoin. And the governments can't find it, so it's reasonably useful for those sorts of applications.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we might segue now into our next topic. You know, we're using our Bitcoins to buy stuff on Amazon, and then Amazon delivers it by drones, apparently. You know, this is just an amazing story. I'm quoting the one now from the ABC about which was picked up everywhere, about Amazon now starting to use drones to do their deliveries. And, you know, there was talk of it. They could deliver something to you within half an hour, you know, this sort of thing. What interested me about this topic is that everyone zeroed in on the privacy angle, that you know, that the drones are going to fly into your house. If they've got a camera, then they could be taking, you know, photos of where you live and whatnot. What I did not
already do that.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But what wasn't mentioned at all, this is just the dumbest idea I've ever heard. And the head of Amazon is actually like trying to spruik it. Seeing these people trying to, you know, put up a case for using drones to deliver things to you. Can you imagine millions of these things flying around in the air? It's just plain ridiculous. And even if they somehow manage to get to where they're going and they do whatever they do, you got people that are you get idiots out there that'll probably try and steal them, or maybe shoot at them, you know, like it's duck hunting season or something like that. I just can't see how this is going to work, and why they think this is a good idea.
Look, this is Amazon jumping the shark, isn't it? Like, I've not heard such a ridiculous idea since Coca-Cola announced they were going to install pipes so everyone could have running Coke to their homes. Look, I like the idea, but it's just not going to happen. And as for privacy, I'm far more worried about safety. Can you imagine you have to go outside with umbrellas to protect yourself from falling drones? It's ridiculous. You're right, Ben. It's ridiculous.
After all, it's technology. It can fall out of the sky on a fail. So, but yeah, that has to be like, if we ever do a you know, dumbest tech ideas type show or whatever, that's definitely got to be up there as one of the top 5 at the very least. But
that's right.
Good luck to them if they think they can actually pull that off. All right.
Well, just on that quickly, the original one, I think the most expensive pizza ever was a guy that bought one for 10 Bitcoin a few years back, which now would have been $10,000. I guess that would make just perfect that scenario if it was delivered by a drone.
Well, Domino's were apparently doing it, so there you go. It's all falling into place. Alrighty, we might move on to our news bites now. Our film news bite. As we all know, Nelson Mandela unfortunately passed away this week. You know, larger than life character, and had such a huge influence on 20th century and civil rights, I guess, in South Africa, with his war against apartheid. And there was a movie or documentary, I should say, that was made in his honor, The Long Walk to Freedom, starring Idris Elba, and it was actually premiered that week that he died. You know, that's, I think, you know, a good testament to the power of film, that we can, you know, if it's done right, and it seems like it has been, that you can celebrate, you know, a man's life like that is such a hugely important figure in 20th century history.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, Ben, especially just from the documentary angle. You know, he was a 20th century figure, and for all his achievements and for all the things he did for human rights, he did them without social media, without, you know, communications the way they are now. And he did them by being an example that people could aspire to or find inspiration in. And it's interesting. You wonder if we ever will see characters or leaders ever portrayed in that way again publicly, because just simply now the number of mediums between them and the people that they seek to represent. Yeah,
exactly. All right, science news bite. This was a bit of a strange one. Surgeons in Spain removed 25-kilogram tumour from the age. Surgeons successfully removed a giant benign tumour weighing 25 kilograms from the womb of a 47-year-old woman. The doctors said that they'd never treated such a case, and it said that scientific publications recorded only about 5 cases of such giant tumours defined as bigger than 11.3 kilograms in the world. That's quite strange and would have been very disconcerting for the patient, and how they wouldn't have noticed that before. Whether it, because I don't think a 25-kilogram tumor just sort of popped up, you know, overnight kind of thing.
No, they don't, but they can grow very rapidly. I mean, what tumours are, they're not good, let's face it, but they get a bad name. In fact, people think tumours are just bad, but they're actually uncontrolled cell growth. Yeah. So they can actually occur reasonably rapidly, and potentially, depending on where they are in the body, you might not know you would have one. Although I imagine if you had a 25-kilogram tumour, you would be eating a lot, because that would be burning a lot of energy inside you.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it's like amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, at least this poor woman must be a bit better now.
That's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. And final news bite, our tech news bite, and this one's a bit of a laugh because it's a bit of a running joke here in my hometown here in Melbourne. Melbourne's observation wheel opens this month from the Herald Sun. For those of you who don't know, we've got a observation wheel, you know, basically a big wheel, kind of like what they claim to be like the London Eye, which is quite hilarious because it's not really like the London Eye. It functioned for a very short time before it buckled under the summer heat here. A string of 40-degree days kind of melted some cracks into it, and it got taken offline for 3 years while it was being repaired under warranty in Japan, and just recently it's reopened for business, and I can actually see it off my balcony here because they've put lights on it so it shines during the night. This is like one of these classic white elephant type scenarios. It's just amazing, and I don't even want to think about how much money was wasted on this thing.
Do you think it'll be popular then? It's in a pretty strange location, isn't it?
Well, in the beginning, it was the only reason people were going to the Docklands down there. So who knows? I think everyone kind of treats it as a joke, and it's been sitting there sort of in a half-built state for about 3 years. So I don't know if anyone will take it seriously or not.
When does it open?
It's been open for about a week or two now. So,
are you getting down there this afternoon to take some Instagram pics for us?
Or? Well, I'll let you know. If you do see some photos, then you'll know that I've taken an interest.
Maybe you can send someone else up to take some photos. Yeah. FiST Chat fans, Instagram us a photo.
Yeah,
Ben won't do it for us.
Absolutely. All right, we might wrap it up there. So thanks again, Steve, for the chat.
Thanks, Ben. We'll see you next week. See you soon, FiST Chat fans.
Absolutely. So that's it for this episode. So we'll catch you for our last one for the year very soon.